Thank you, Tyler, and hello, everybody. Welcome into the Memorial Field inside Harold Burry Stadium, where today we present to you the 82nd all-time meeting between the Westminster Titans and your Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets. My name's Ethan Spazarski, alongside me, Dean Shazer. And Dean, last week, Waynesburg lost to Case Western 41-7, looking to kind of have a rebound week. But for Westminster, this is our first game of the year. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I spoke to head coach of Westminster, Scott Benzel, earlier in the week, and I asked him about his thoughts on the Week 1 bye, because it is pretty strange, and he thought so as well. As he said, he coached for 21 years, he's never seen it. He's played a long time, and he's never seen it. And them being the 5th-ranked team in the PAC last year, giving that Week 1 bye, it's kind of strange also seeing the top 4 teams play the bottom 4 teams in the first week. So a little bit of frustration coming for the Westminster side, but he said they're ready, they're sick of hitting each other, and they want to see Waynesburg today.
Well, speaking of seeing Waynesburg, last year's result of these two matching up was a Westminster Titan win that finished with a 31-20 final score. And, I mean, in that game, while Westminster did win by 11 points, Waynesburg did compete with them the whole way. Westminster outrushed them 181 yards to 141. Waynesburg did outpass the Titans, 279 to 135, and then they had out offense them, I guess you could say, if that's some grammar, 420 yards to 316. So while Westminster did get the win, Waynesburg did compete in that matchup.
Yeah, we focused a lot on in last week's broadcast about Waynesburg and their penalty numbers, and the penalty numbers in that game was a factor as well. That's why you maybe see the fluctuation in difference in yards. Even though they lost by 11, they had 100 more yards. Well, it's because they were given a few extra chances and they got set back 15 yards a few times. 31-20 defeat, as you mentioned. Westminster was up 31-6, and Waynesburg finished with 2 touchdowns to make it 31-20, but couldn't get back in time.
Exactly, as mentioned, finishing with 10 more penalties than the next closest team in the PAC, averaging well over 90 yards a game in penalty yards. That was crucial. They ranked nationally as well. But let's talk about the head. We mentioned Westminster's head coach. Let's take a quick minute to mention and talk about the Waynesburg's head coach, Dr. Cornelius Coleman. Coleman was hired in December of 2021. He was previously at Duquesne. He was the D-line coach for 2 years. In 2022, he did make his mark in his first year. He got the most wins, 4 total wins and 3 conference wins that they've seen since 2018. He's a graduate from the Waynesburg program in 2000. He also got one of his 2 master's degree at Waynesburg in 2003. Overall record right now, 6-15 as a head coach. In the PAC, he's 5-15.
I wanted to flip over talking about Coach Coleman. He was put into a little bit of a tough situation, and an interesting situation as we come into this week. 3 football players were just arrested on campus, covered in the news story. We don't have all the details, but 3 players were arrested, so interesting to see the team's mindset and see if it affected them in any way. But talking about Westminster a little bit, their quarterback, Ty McGowan, he had shoulder surgery in February. He actually hurt it during the Carnegie Mellon game last year, where he threw the most pass attempts in his collegiate career. And I also spoke to him, I think it was Thursday night, I believe, and he told me he doesn't think that had anything to do with it. It was the way he was hit and it landed on. And I actually went to the Steeler game with him the next day because he's one of my best friends. Actually, 3 of them on this team, like Moon graduates, my high school alma mater, Dylan Sleva, Tate Beachy, and Ty McGowan are the 3 there. But Ty, interesting to see 7 months after shoulder surgery. Coach Benzel said he's going to deal with a lot of pain this season. He's going to have to push through it, but he's a tough kid. And he said, you know that, and I know that from all my years being with him. Going to be interesting to see today.
So we spoke about McGowan and his injury. Well, Westminster's also going to be out with one of their usual stars at running back, number 1, Ryan Gomes, finishing his 2nd game of his 2-game suspension. But I mean, that's just part of the game, and that means Elijah Grayer is going to really get a start, and he's going to see a lot of the rushes here for Westminster.
Yeah, Grayer, Coach also mentioned that this is a young team all around. 3 defensive linemen on the front were backups last year because of the seniors that were there. Also, the tight end room is a new look. Alex Shaughnessy and Nathan Wadsworth look to take over the roles of Damon Mull and Chevy Dawson. Now, Mull and Dawson weren't too big of impacts in the passing game, as Dawson, he was a all-PAC first team as a punter last year, but not on offense. His stats weren't all there. He only had about 250 yards receiving, a handful of catches. Maul, only 7 receptions for 81 yards. When I tell you they were a major influence in a running game and running off tackle, those two helped this offense in its versatility a long way.
Westminster in the past, a lot of success, and since 2020, 2 PAC titles, and they went 13-3 in the span from 2020 to 2021. Last year, again, as we may have mentioned before, 6-4 overall, but in that record, they went 4-1 here at Bury Stadium.
I noticed that too. I saw that, had that on my notes. 4-1 at Bury Stadium. Statistically and historically, Westminster's always been successful at Bury. It's a very beautiful stadium with a lake past on the east side, I believe that is. Yeah, the east side, Waynesburg's visiting side. A lake at the east side of the end zone behind the scoreboard. Gives it a scenic view. Very beautiful. About 84, 83 degrees and windy. A lot of sun out here today in New Wilmington, Pennsylvania. I want to talk about another injury. A key player coming back is Ty Elam from Sharon, Pennsylvania. He had a patellar tendon injury in his knee and required surgery last year. Didn't play a single snap. Excited to have him back as he was the leading receiver in the year he played prior to last.
Alrighty, we've done a lot of talking. The players are making their way out here for Waynesburg. Westminster is doing the same here as they're getting ready to run out with being represented by the band and the color guard. Our captains are lined up on each side as well, so we're just moments away here from the coin toss and not too far off there from kickoff as you hear the fans cheering on the Westminster Titans coming out. Again, this is their first game of the season. Westminster with that week 1 bye as mentioned before.
First game of the season. Sorry for the miscommunication, Spose. I was trying to get a look at these captains as it looks like it's starting quarterback for Westminster, Ty McGowan, Mike linebacker, Dylan Sleva, safety, Bryce Butler, and right guard, Matt Howard, the captains for Westminster. And for Waynesburg, it's Brennan Boron, Zane Cawley, Jacob Brisky, and is that Tommy Burke?
It looks to be Tommy Burke.
Tommy Burke, the backup quarterback. I don't know if he's getting the start today. It was a question that I asked Coach Kuhlman on Monday after the weekend. I asked him how he felt after the loss, and he said, you know what, the competitor in me, I was angry for the last 48 hours until I got onto campus at 9 a.m. on Monday. I asked him if there's any competition in the quarterback room because Tommy Burke actually replaced Sammy Barber in the game last week. Burke has been he's a junior here now. He's an intelligent football player. He has a 3.9 GPA in the classroom. Very intellectual student athlete was the way Coach Kuhlman described Burke. And when I asked him about the quarterback situation, he said there's no question. But he never gave me an answer on who was starting. And maybe it's Burke today based on him being on the 50 for the coin toss.
Speaking to, I spoke to senior Cameron Burris on that Waynesburg defense, and he mentioned, he goes, there's really no number one starter. It's pretty much both are going to play. That's how they play through training camp. That's how they play in practice. Both the quarterbacks do get a lot of playing time switching back and forth. So most likely what we will see here is what we saw last week where Barber started out the game, then about halfway through, Tommy Burke made his way into the game.
Well, yeah, that Westminster started out 31-6 last time against Waynesburg, but Barber actually had his career high in passing yards. Well, not career high, Waynesburg high in passing yards, as he was a transfer last year, transfer student.
Alrighty, so Westminster will be the ones to start out with the football here. They will receive. Waynesburg deferred to the second half, and so we will see the Westminster offense and Ty McGowan fresh off his injury making his way back, as mentioned. Ty Elam as well making his way back, as mentioned. So we are just seconds away from getting this thing kicked off, the 82nd meeting all-time, where Westminster currently has that all-time lead as they leave that series 45-31-3 all-time.
Last year in Waynesburg's first game of the season against Allegheny, they actually returned to kickoff. It was Xavier Nelson. He's no longer with the team this year. But special teams can affect games in a major way. And in the NFL, I don't know if you'll see that anymore. It's a different game, and you watch an NFL game on Sunday, and then you watch a Friday night football game and a Saturday afternoon game. You're like, this is what football should look like.
Alrighty, we are here. Waynesburg getting ready to line up. Westminster is in position there, far back all the way in the back, there to set off to receive this kickoff, opening kickoff here.
Scott Benzel, 8-1 versus Waynesburg all time. In 2014 was his last defeat, and that was in his first season as the head coach of the Titans. So here we go, Spose.
Here we are. Everybody's lined up. Everyone's getting in position. We're about to see this kickoff here, as we'll see Gavin Greaves. He's one of the two back. And then moving up with him as well is set to be Bright Cannon. This one's kicked back towards Cannon. It'll bounce at the 10 and stay in. Westminster late pickup there by Greaves. And so Westminster will start with their first offensive drive all the way at their own 10-yard line. A bit of a weird bounce. Greaves goes and picks it up next to the sideline, but unfortunately the Waynesburg defenders were there as soon as the ball was done to able to make the tackle.
Yeah, Westminster recognized that it was a pooch kick, moved up their whole special teams about 5 yards. Bright Cannon, the freshman out of Parkland, Florida, just let it go, and it was a live ball. Waynesburg swallowed him up at the 10-yard line.
Alrighty, so Westminster starts at their own 10. First down and 10. McGowan stands shotgun there with Grayer. Grayer takes it up the left side. He'll bounce out for what looks to be a gain about only a yard for the Titans. It'll be now 2nd and 9. As we're going to take a look at the starting offenses here, starting from left to right. You have Braden Mika at the left tackle. Left guard, you currently have Dylan Llewellyn. At the center position, Gage Dugonski. Right guard, Matt Howard, and then finally at that right tackle position, Dante Campani. So Westminster will line up again. Shotgun. 3 receivers to the right for McGowan. Takes the snap. Looks to be he'll pitch it out there to number 4, Demir White. Taken out of bounds. Looks to be another short gain. It will be 3rd down. Looks to be about 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 6.
So an inside run concept on the first play for Westminster. Gets about a yard and then a toss right. Gets about 2 yards, brings up about 3rd down and 7 for Westminster. And Waynesburg on those first 2 plays looked like they had all 11 guys with the ball flowing, coming out hot with energy.
Now in at quarterback is not McGowan. It's a different quarterback here than what they have on their depth chart. They'll take it'll be a QB sneak. Westminster takes it up. Few sly moves between linebackers, and they will move the chains there, as that was number 12, Sean O'Shea, freshman, 6 foot, 185 quarterback, came in for a play. As now Westminster again moves the chains, 1st down and 10. A lot of maneuvering there, sly moving, breaking some tackles in right up the middle of the field. So Westminster continues their drive. McGowan back in a quarterback. McGowan stands shotgun again with White. He'll hand it off. He'll run right, but this time met immediately right there near the line of scrimmage against that Waynesburg defense.
Yeah, Demir White and Elijah Gray are going to look to take a handful of this load for the Westminster offense. But Coach Scott Benzel said it's going to be more of a running back by committee until Ryan Gomes gets back in week 3.
Alrighty, so Westminster now 2nd and 9. Currently sits at about their own 30-yard line. McGowan under center. He'll take the snap. Again, play action. He throws left. He finds his tight end, Alex Shaughnessy, finds his way near the 1st down marker on the stick. We'll see where the refs will rule him. If he is at the 1st down marker or near it, would be about the 39 or 40-yard line. They will, Westminster rolling quick here. Quick screen pass back outside. It was a 3rd and 3. And Westminster gets it on the screen pass, 1st down. Westminster working quick there, moving on for that 3rd down as they catch Waynesburg off guard, and they will move the chains here.
Westminster going quick on tempo. Looks like they like the look that Waynesburg had out there on defense. Used a bubble screen and exploited it.
All right, so Westminster currently stands at their 44-yard line. McGowan back under center. 1st down. As there's 11:56 and counting remaining. Play action again for McGowan. He'll step up, roll right, and he'll run left. runs all the way past the first down marker and a few extra yards, so they again move the chains. Westminster moving nicely here after 2 third-down conversions for Westminster.
A little play-action concept. Waynesburg left the whole far side of the field open. McGowan had a lot of daylight, took his free 12 yards and the first down. Ball's at the 45 going in, Westminster in Waynesburg territory.
Yep, Westminster will snap this ball, first play in Waynesburg territory at the Waynesburg 45-yard line. 1st and 10. McGowan has 3 receivers to his right. Screen pass out there to number 2, Bright Cannon. Cannon runs right, and he'll get about 8 yards, so it'll be a 2nd and 2 here for Westminster. Finishing out that Westminster starting lineup, again, starting tight end Alex Shawnee. Then you have 3 receivers. You have Bright Cannon, as mentioned, Tate Beachy, Marcel Smith-Austin, Ty Elam, Ethan Buford, Jalen Washington. Starting running back is Elijah Grayer, and then starting quarterback, as mentioned, Ty McGowan.
You mentioned Elijah Grayer being in there. We've seen a little bit more of Demir White, as here's Grayer now, but those two have been getting the workload in this first drive.
McGowan goes under center. He has Grayer behind him, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to his left. Steps back in the pocket. He'll step up, fire a deep ball, looking downfield, wide open. And that is a catch and touchdown by Tate Beachy. Be about a 38-yard touchdown pass as Westminster will strike first to get the first 6 points on the board.
So sorry to cut you off, but McGowan, I talked to him on Thursday, and he said he's going to try to take advantage of the Waynesburg aggressiveness. As you see, 2 out of the last 3 plays were bubble screens in a play action. They ran a fake bubble there. Tate Beachy over the top, exactly the look that they wanted this week.
Andrew Carana set to make kick off this extra point here. Snap is good. Kick is low, but it is well good. So Westminster will be the first to get points on the board. 7-0 for the Titans as we are not even 5 minutes in this game. 10:33 remaining in the first quarter, and now we will get to see Waynesburg's offense and how they respond.
Yeah, that ball looked good. That was the first time McGowan has aired it out in a live game since the surgery. Well, since last year at Carnegie Mellon in Week 9. And it was a pretty ball to Beachy. He slowed down a little bit, wasn't exactly in stride. Launched it from middle of the field at the 37 to about the near side. Beachy caught it around the 4, 2 steps in the end zone. Easy touchdown, Westminster.
As Dean mentioned, it wasn't on stride, but it was a good enough pass because Waynesburg defender was a good 4 or 5 yards off of him. So Westminster starts off 7-0 as we will get back in action here as everyone's getting lined up. Kickoff will be sent away there by Carana.
Josh Jefferson returning deep.
Carana steps up. He'll boot this one all the way back. It'll be received at about the 4-yard line here for Waynesburg as it continues to make a push. And now out here Waynesburg making a very solid return. Cuts the outside past the 40. He will be tackled way out of bounds around the 45-yard line. Their kick returner goes to Isaiah Fields. Fields, really good job. Just finds open space by cutting all the way left and just ran all the way down to the 45-yard line. So Waynesburg will start on their own 45-yard line. But not bad field position, all things considering.
Yeah, he cut it up the middle, took it on the far side, in between the hash of the hash on the far side, right around the numbers. Cut it to the left side, kept going, found a hole outside. Westminster not maintaining their lanes, ends up being a solid return. All
right, so Sammy Barber will be the starting quarterback for Waynesburg here today. He stands shotgun with Zane Colley to his left. 2 receivers, or he has a receiver left to tight end left and 2 to the right. Barber is going to air it out himself. Wide open. Unfortunately, just overthrown there. Pass is incomplete. Intended target was Isaac Trout. If Trout would have caught that, that would have been a definite first down. Westminster defender not too far behind, but now Waynesburg goes down 2nd and 10 here at their own 45-yard line as we are entering near the 10-minute mark in the game.
Yeah, Trout literally had open coverage. He was open the whole time right off the snap. Either miscommunication by the Westminster defense or a good play call. Either way, Sam Barber, who is the quarterback, not Tommy Burke, overthrew him.
Dagan Williams motions right to left. Sammy Barber stands shotgun with Colley again. Takes the snap, hands off to Cauley. Cauley runs left, finds a little bit of a hole, and will make his way to about the 49-yard line. So it'll be about a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 from here for Waynesburg. Your starting offensive lineup for the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets, starting from left to right on the offensive line: Jacob Brisky, Isaiah Grenway, Corey Ansel, Dalton Scruggs, Grant Murrin, Dagan Williams, your starting tight end, starting running back Zane Cauley, starting quarterback Sam Barber, and then the receiver room that's stretched a little thin this week: Tyler Richmond, Isaac Trout, Nami Mark, Noah Thomas, and Michael Wines. So Waynesburg stands shotgun again with Cauley to Barber's right. Barber steps back in the pocket, throws down. Big hit there by number 3, Bryce Butler, on the receiver, which was Tyler Richmond. It will be a 4th and about 3, caught at the Westminster 48-yard line. Good catch, way to maintain, but again, big hit, big stop there for Westminster.
Yeah, Waynesburg punt team coming on, not going to take the early risk, as if they don't convert, Westminster would take over at about the 50. But Nahimi Mark was open about 15 yards downfield on a post route, except Barber chose to go underneath, and Bryce Butler made him pay.
Landon Bradley set to punt this one away from Waynesburg. Takes about the 40-yard line. He'll give it a good shot down the field. That's received by Westminster around their own 15. Receiving that was Bryce Butler. He'll be forced out of bounds about the 20-yard line.
There's a flag on the far side of the field at about the 50.
Referees will convene. We will wait to give you that call here momentarily.
But about a 4-yard punt return by Bryce Butler. He just made the stop on the 3rd down.
So Westminster starts off on their first drive, scores. Waynesburg punts on their first, as we're now going to receive the call here, what the flag's for.
So Waynesburg, we'll wait for the call.
Going to return. Holding. Return team, number 1. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So it's going to be a holding on the Westminster Titans here, holding by number 1. Whether that's Ryan Gomes or Corte Williams, I can't tell you. But
Gomes is out. My guess would be Williams, because Gomes has the suspension. There we go.
Look at you doing the math. Very proud of you there, Dean. Good catch. But nonetheless, Westminster will get their second drive started, about their own 15-yard line. McGones, he'll stand under center. Motioning right to left there was number 15, Marcel Smith Austin. This one's running up the right side for Westminster. He'll get a good gain. Looks to be the first down. Just waiting for an official call here. And it will be considered a first down. Westminster, 1 play, 10 yards on first down.
Yeah, good inside zone concept. Gage Dugonski and Matt Howard clearing the path right along the right side of the O-line. Allowed that hole to open up in a burst of speed.
1st and 10, Westminster again. Smith Austin runs right to left. McGowan takes under center, but he will hand it off there. Westminster runs it up the left side as they'll get what looks to be at about a 7 or 8 yard gain before being tackled. So it'll be about 2nd and 2 for Westminster.
That was Gavin Greaves that time.
Gavin Greaves. Good carry, working 2nd and short now, as we have 7:59 remaining here in the first quarter. Westminster taking their time. We saw a few times in the last drive Westminster working quick. This time they'll stay slow. So McGowan on a 2nd and 2. Smith Austin runs this time left to right under center. Handed off one more time to Greaves. Greaves gets a short gain, but will get the first down as he had a gain of about 4. So it is a Westminster 1st and 10, but we'll take a pause for an injured Yellow Jacket.
That's Jack Nagy on the ground. He's holding his left ankle, as trainers tend to.
So while the trainers tend to Nagy, let's take a quick moment to bring up last week's scores. So we mentioned the Waynesburg loss to Case Western. Geneva last week got shut out by Grove City 41-0. Carnegie Mellon defeated Teal. They shut them out as well, 58-0. St. Vincent traveled to Washington Jefferson and lost 59-6. And then Allegheny Bethany, close matchup, 20-14 win for the Gators. Again, Westminster, the only team with the bye last week.
And then we'll take a look around the PAC this week. We have Geneva at Carnegie Mellon. St. Vincent travels to Allegheny to play the Gators. Washington and Jefferson travels to Teal to play the Tomcats, and the Bethany Bison go to Cleveland to play Case Western Reserve.
2 night games this week for W&J and Teal, and then Bethany Case Western, both 7 o'clock kickoffs. Geneva, Carnegie Mellon, St. Vincent, and Allegheny were 1 o'clock kickoffs with this game. Around the halftime report with Tyler and Haley, you will get a halftime update of some of those scores as well.
Well, it's a big week in college football, especially for an area right around us. Waynesburg being 27-minute drive from West Virginia's campus. The Backyard Brawl, a tradition considered one of the greatest football rivalries in all of college football, happens today at 3:30. I'm not sure what network it's on, but Pitt hosts at Acrisure Stadium. They host the West Virginia Mountaineers.
2-0 Pitt team, 1-1 West Virginia team. Pitt coming off a win last week against Cincinnati. Big win for the Panthers, trying to turn it around as last year, finishing 3-9. Not an ideal year for them. But Jack Nagy walked off the field on his own power. Great to see. We hope he's okay.
Cohen Stout is the DN that came in for Nagy.
So now Westminster gets back on offense. 7:26 first quarter. 1st and 10. Westminster stands at their own 39-yard line. McGowan shotgun. He's Greaves to his left, but he'll pitch right as the receiver falls over upon catching that pass for the Titans. That was number 18, Tate Beachy.
Yeah, Beachy started backpedaling on his route and just tripped over his own feet. What could have been about a 5 to 6 yard gain, at least, due to good receiver blocking on the outside. Just trips on himself and loses 3.
So it'll be 2nd and 13 for the Titans. Westminster gets back on the line here, as Waynesburg said as well. McGowan will get ready to go under center. McGowan takes a snap. He'll have a halfback draw here, as again met near the line was Greaves again. So this will be a 3rd down and very long for the Titans, as they're stopped at their own 38-yard line, about 1 yard back from the original line of scrimmage.
Interesting to see what Westminster will do here, because this is pretty much their first 3rd and long situation of the game. They had a 3rd and 6 converted pretty easily, but 3rd and 11 upcoming. They've been running a lot of high-low, bubble screens, inside zones. Wonder if they'll take a shot over the middle here.
Last year, 45 of 133, 33% on 3rd down was Westminster. McGowan, shotgun again. He'll take the snap this time, step up in the pocket, fire about the 50-yard line. That's caught by Cannon. He'll get tackled about the 49-yard line on the Waynesburg side of the field, and that will be enough for a Westminster 1st down.
And that's exactly what McGowan did. Great pocket, great set by the offensive line for the Titans, clearing the way for McGowan. He could have stepped up and taken off for at least 8, but found a receiver over the middle just past the logo for a 12-yard gain.
So McGowan continues to lead this offense down the field as they again enter Waynesburg territory on the Waynesburg 49-yard line. 1st and 10. Time 5:18 and counting. Here is McGowan will go back under center. 2 receivers to his left. He'll take the snap. Hand it off again to Greaves. Met at the line of scrimmage by Waynesburg. It'll be a 2nd and 10 again for the Titans.
Brennan Boron in there with the safety for Waynesburg. He actually represented the Yellow Jackets at Media Day, and that was one player that Scott Benzel mentioned in our interview. He said, that number 4 for Waynesburg, what's his name? Yeah, he's a hard hitter. And that's exactly what he did there. Came downfield, a lot of steam, popped the running back for no gain.
All right, so the officials will give a yard to Greaves, so it'll be 2nd and 9 for Westminster. McGowan back under center, hands it off again, this time taking it upfield and breaking more tackles, more and more off the left side. He breaks through another tackle, and guess what? Clayton Cannon takes it all the way into the end zone for himself for the touchdown. Well, there is a flag on the field back at about what it looks to be the 43-yard line. And an injured Yellow Jacket as well in the process, but great work of breaking the tackles, as now a holding on the offense will be called, so the touchdown will be negated. replaying second down for Westminster. For one stent, you look at it, Waynesburg very fortunate for the holding call. Unfortunately, another injured Yellow Jacket, which not fortunate at all.
Yeah, simple handoff right up the middle behind Dagonski. Goes a long way after 3 broken tackles and a few side shuffles. Cannon made something out of nothing, took it all the way to the end zone, but the flag around the 40-yard line, a holding on Braden Micah out of Kiski Area High School, neglected it.
Cannon himself fought the 5'7" sophomore. Really kind of, Alvin Kamara-esque, just shifting between tackles, really hard evading, and then finds himself in the open space. But the Westminster holding will negate the touchdown. So Westminster's new line of scrimmage set on their own 47-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 14 for the Titans as 2 receivers and 1 tight end on the right side. Shotgun standing there is McGowan. Takes the snap, steps back. He'll throw back to White. White breaks a few tackles, passes the 50-yard line. He'll be tackled about the Waynesburg 47, so it'll be about a 3rd and 7 here for the Titans. Again, great blocking. This has been a consistently good blocking Westminster team for all of their passes, as a lot of the passes have gone through the backfield and worked up the field, whether it's down the middle or through the left or the right side of the field. But Westminster now faced with a 3rd down again, 3rd and 7, as we have 3:51 and counting here in the first quarter. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Standing shotgun there is White next to McGowan. McGowan takes the snap, steps back, stepping up in the pocket, fires left side, and it's caught. First down for the Titans. The receiver that caught, number 15, Smith Austin, the 5'11", 185th-year kid from Sharon, PA, extends the play for the Titans as it's a first down. McGowan stepping up, stepping back, comfortable in the pocket, looks really good.
I was just going to mention that. His shoulder really hasn't seemed to affect him too much. You haven't seen him get hit at all yet up to this point in the game. But his zip's there, accuracy's there. He's playing sound football.
McGowan, the junior, 6 foot, 190 out of Moon Township, PA, Moon High School. Again, I don't know if you ever heard of that place. McGowan steps up in the pocket again here. He throws. He has himself Greaves. Looks to be about a 5-yard gain for the Titans. Looks to be about 2nd and 5. Ball placed at the Waynesburg 30-yard line.
Alex Paulson finished that tackle after Greaves was the running back set to the left, cut across the middle.
Cannon works his way back into the huddle as Greaves will take himself to the sideline. Westminster, continuing to use what looks to be a three-type person running back room. 2nd and 5 on the 30-yard line for Westminster. They're currently up 7-0 with 2:16 and counting on the clock. McGowan under center. Takes a snap. He hands it off right. Again there, Cannon, as he's met, but continues to push forward as a late, then push back. We'll see where the officials will declare. They call it a first down. They'll spot the ball about the Waynesburg 24-yard line.
Now Waynesburg came out in an interesting look on defense. Kevin Willis played as the 4th down lineman, ended up dropping back into a traditional 3-3-5. 3 down, 3 linebackers, 3 defensive backs. However, Westminster 6-yard gain, first down.
First down, Westminster. Stands shotgun again. Cannon to McGowan's right. Motioning back behind McGowan is going to be Ty Elam, as he will catch this pass and run through the 20-yard line, about tackle to the 18 there. Tackle made by number 44, Kevin Willis.
It's Elam's first opportunity of getting the ball since the 2022 season. As I mentioned in our pregame, he had a patellar tendon injury over the summer.
Alrighty, minute 8 remaining here in the first quarter, as we're going to see the teams huddle to their respective sidelines, as Waynesburg apparently used a timeout here.
Yeah, maybe understandable from Coach Cornelius Coleman's side of things. Westminster's been moving the ball and pretty much doing whatever they want. Like as we were talking about on that 3rd and 11, that was their toughest situation. And they handled that with no problem with about a 13, 14-yard gain over the middle. Coleman maybe just wanted to settle his guys in, knowing that this second down, they'll most likely get a first down within the next 3 plays. But then you have a fresh set of downs until the end zone. Coleman wanting to talk about that a little bit in the huddle, what to do in this 15-and-in situation.
Westminster scoring their first drive, making it a 38-yard receiving touchdown. Waynesburg's first possession was a punt, and now this is only the third possession of the game, second for Westminster here, as they continue to take their time on this drive. These teams will break their huddles and head back out to about the 17-yard line of Waynesburg. McGowan's going to stand shotgun with Cannon again. 3 receivers to his left. McGowan takes it, hands it off to Cannon. Cannon runs left. He'll be met by a swarm of Waynesburg players as he will still get the first down after a game of about 4. Chains will be moved. Ball is set to be spotted. What looks to be the Waynesburg 17-yard line now. 14-yard line, excuse me. So now coming in again at quarterback here is Sean O'Shea, the 6-foot freshman for the Titans. Last time O'Shea was in, he took it himself, found himself a nifty run. Cannon, shotgun left to O'Shea. He'll take the snap. This is a read option. O'Shea will take it himself, trying to find his way out, but was met immediately there by Waynesburg as Sam Hamilton had the initial tackle, as we are now 14 seconds remaining in the quarter. And it does not look like Westminster will be calling another, or will be getting another snap here in the first quarter, and we're going to finish it off like this. Westminster starts off the first quarter 7-0 over Waynesburg, taking their time here on their second drive.